Welcome to the Biz Life Podcast. I am Donnie Bedore, your host. We are here to talk about the business life, not the busy life. So today, this is going to be our anniversary edition. All right. So for anybody that works with your spouse, would love to work with your spouse, or hates working with your spouse, this is an episode that you're going to want to tune in. I have the one, the only, Celeena Bedore.
Thanks for having me.
See, even our own in-studio audience.
I love it.
Appreciate it.
Very welcoming.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, guys. All right, good. All right. So, yeah, welcome to the Biz Life, number 2, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. I forget what episode I had you on, maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, it was early on.
Look in the description box below. It'll be plugged in there.
Yeah.
So
go back.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Who you married to? You know, who do you think about all the time?
Oh, yeah. Celeena Bedore, married to this guy right across from me. Married for 26 years today.
Yes.
It's our anniversary today. So, yep.
Nice.
We have 3 kids.
Yep.
Landon is 25, Jacob is 23, and Gracie's 21. Nice. And yeah, I'm owner of Gray's Craze Fort Worth, co-owner of Gray's Craze Plano, and co-owner of TX Black Belt Academy.
Love it. You're the boss lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been married 26 years. Been happily married for 24-ish years.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's life.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we made it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, I want to, had requested that have you back on the show.
Oh.
Yep. And specifically talk about how you deal with such an amazing husband in business. Just kidding.
Well,
that's not necessarily the topic.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, no.
Kidding.
Oh, goodness.
Kidding.
She got jokes.
That's what you get.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
No, so, yeah, biz life for us, right? What's it like? What's it like on the daily? I guess we could go from what was it like in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of business owners that we know are starting a business fresh. And, you know, this may be their very first business. They're going in with their spouse. Maybe their spouse is working a full-time job, mm-hmm. you know, and they're starting this business, right? So do you recall whenever we first took over the Fort Worth location of TXBBA?
I do.
And what that was like for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were both working full-time jobs.
We were.
Yep. I went from a stay-at-home mom to working full-time in corporate America. And you were at your long-time job where you were. And, you know, we had been through some things in our marriage and stuff like that. And we kind of made a new plan and goal to get me back from working to being home with the kids. And so whenever the opportunity came to acquire Fort Worth, Texas Black Belt Academy, I thought you were kind of crazy at first because I'm like, no, this is just a hobby. You can't do this for a living, because I had no idea. I had no plans, no desire to be a business owner, right?
Right.
But I liked the idea that if I did not have to work in corporate America anymore, I would support you in whatever you were going to do.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was busy because we were both working full time, and then we acquired that. So we just piled another full-time job on top of our full-time jobs. And so I remember being pretty hectic.
Yeah.
A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I recall like, you know, so whenever I was working the day job and I would leave there and go up to the dojo or the school. Mm-hmm. And then it seemed like we had a good balance in the beginning.
We did, yeah.
You know, because we both knew our roles and our lane.
Yeah.
Right. And so there was a certain time that you would take the kids home because they were up there too. Mm-hmm. Right. I always say my kids had drug problems. Growing up, we drug them to, you know, martial arts training. Mm-hmm. Thank you. But, you know, it just seemed like we knew our lanes that we were in, and we supported each other, you know, in that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely knew what my weaknesses were and knew what my strengths were, and to not bring any more anxiety onto myself, I just stayed where I was needed and where I knew I could flourish. And that was, you know, answering the phones and taking care of the kids and, you know, just the stuff that was catering to my strengths.
Yeah. I mean, you did, I think for the most part in the beginning, you were more customer faced, you know, you were, at the front counter and, dealing with the parents coming in, things like that, dealing with the customers, where I was more
Teaching and selling.
The teaching and selling aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not to this day, I don't mind teaching.
Yeah.
I don't like selling.
You say that, but you're actually really good at it. So here's something I've noticed about you is that I think you realized that you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone to get things that you don't have.
Yes.
And you've allowed yourself to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to talk about that journey, right? Because it's really been a journey. I've watched it from the outside, right? For you to go to like a network meeting and speak, in front of many people about your business and about you, and to be on a podcast for second time. I mean, it's definitely outside your typical comfort zone of what I've, known you growing up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we've been together for 16 years.
We've been together for 31 years.
No, I mean, we've been together since we were 16 years old. See, that's why I keep her around. She keeps me in check, and she still loves me. So 31 years we've been together.
Yes.
Right. And so I've really seen in the last year and a half, maybe 2, that you have been growing in that aspect. Do you contribute that to anything?
Honestly, yes.
Please be honest.
Yes. I would not have been where I'm at had I not been on a weight loss journey.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, I used to weigh over 200 pounds and was very tired and self-conscious and didn't have a lot of confidence. And even though I was a black belt in karate and, had the business, it still was something inside of me that I still worried about my self-image. I didn't feel like I looked like the part. You know what I mean? Not that
no, you've always looked.
Well, I know, but you don't want to stereotype. But I didn't feel like I fit and looked the part. If somebody looked at me, what did they see? And they weren't seeing an entrepreneur or a business person or a female business owner or whatever. But I really contributed just to the weight loss. And also with that confidence comes with wanting to know my product better and wanting to know how I can serve people better. And so getting comfortable with that and just being in it more. Because now that the kids are older, right, I don't have to worry about the kids so much.
Right.
Back in the early on, they were 6, 8, and 10.
Right.
And so I couldn't really put myself into it as much as I wanted to because I had to worry and put myself into the kids, and all their stuff. So now that we're empty nesters, I can put myself more into the business and learn more about the business and how business works and how to work with people and talk to people and connect with people. And yeah.
Nice. Pull that mic up just a little bit.
Okay. Sorry.
There you go. No, it's okay. So you contributed a lot to the weight loss, right? But, going through, a weight loss program or, however you get there, right? They're still after the fact, right? They're still the journey. So is there anything else that you have really, learned or been diving into?
Well, I think I've been, number one, surrounding myself with the people that are going to benefit me in that area,
Okay. Tell me about that.
Just the circle of friends, people that are on my side, that are cheerleaders, want the best for me, people I can serve. And then I have been doing a lot of self-reflection, self-examination. I've been reading a lot of books on how to deal with my emotions, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with people, finding your people. Once I read Find Your People by Jenny Allen, I was able to really categorize people in my life.
Okay.
Because I've always been, believe it or not, I am a people pleaser to a certain extent.
You are.
A lot of people would be like, no, but I am.
Yeah. You enjoy pleasing
but
people.
To the point, I don't like telling people no.
Yeah.
And that has gotten me in a lot of trouble. I don't like telling people no because I don't want that to make them feel bad or whatever. So anyway, just learning how to categorize people in my life, where they are. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to put people in certain areas. Okay, this person's an acquaintance where I used to treat them like a good friend, where they need to be in the acquaintance category because, for whatever reason. So, but yeah, a lot of self-help, a lot of just working on my relationship with the Lord, and then just letting him just take over my anxieties and just learning how to not be a doubtful prayer, stuff like that. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I mean, it's definitely has shown, from someone that is with you on the day to day, right? I see that, and I see that you have really grown in that area.
And you're very good at telling me, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm super proud of you.
Yeah.
I am super proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, so, so early on, right, in business, we would find our own lanes, right? There was a certain time that you would take the kids home and I would finish out the business, right? What do you feel our lanes are right now? What do you feel that, if I were to say, okay, what is your lane, right? And what do you feel my lane is? How would you describe those?
As far as like how we run the businesses?
Yeah, yeah. And
because
we'll stay with business.
Yeah. So I'm a workhorse.
Yes.
I'm more operational. Give me a task and let me do it. Give me that checklist and I'll mark it off. You see me in the kitchen at Grace Craze. I'm running around crazy trying to just hammer out things that need to be done. Yep. You're more of marketing, social marketing, digital marketing, email marketing. You'd like to do the sales, dealing with the people. I network. I like to network because if it's more of a comfortable atmosphere, I don't like going out there and trying to sell my product.
Okay.
I would much rather build a relationship because, I'm about relationships. I'm about deep relationships. I do not like superficial surface area relationships. I just don't have time for it. I don't want to have to. I want deep relationships. And so if I can build that and then the business comes from that, then that's where I can sell. Yeah. But as far as going out and selling my product, I'm just not that type of person.
Do you think that's why you resonated a lot with the women in business group that like Veritex Bank is doing?
Yes.
Because their slogan is, how do they put it?
It says, make friends first and the business will follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and it caters to women like me who aren't, they're introverted or, just more laid back, casual. It's not shoving business cards in your face. We're eating small bites and drinking wine and having conversation, Yeah. So, but yeah, I think, I'm operational. Yeah. I'm a workhorse. And then you're more of the people, marketing, sales, and there's more to it that makes the business work, but those are the two main.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And what's funny is you say that, right? But I see you. Yeah, you definitely fit the workhorse role, right? If you were to go in and, you could run circles around me on a lot of stuff when it comes to in the business. But whenever you interact with customers and I hear that and I'm just sitting back as a fly on the wall, man, you're just like solid. I'm like, dang, man, she didn't skip a beat and she connects, right? I think you connect to people in a different level than I do. And, that just may be a gift that you have or something that you've developed and really been focusing on here lately.
Yeah, so just trying to change my mindset. My mindset used to be if somebody was coming up to me, they want something from me, you're trying to get something from me, you're trying to take control of me, you're trying to control me or whatever. And that was always my mindset dealing with people in the past.
Okay.
For whatever reason. Yeah. Might have been from past hurts or just a lack of confidence and self-esteem.
There's a lot of truth to that too, because a lot of times, people are self-centered and they do want something out of you, but there are select few who are like, you know what, I'm going to give without ever wanting or requesting or needing anything. Yeah.
And that's what I have to think about when I talk to people. It's like, they don't want something from me, Yeah. So,
Yeah. But whenever you are in business, they do want something from you, right?
They do.
And that's the whole goal is to not sell them, but to meet the need that they, have, or maybe they don't know they have.
And that's why I like the businesses that we're in, right? With the service industry of the martial arts and the Grace Craze, it's not just about charcuterie, but we try to make an event for them very special. And so I think that's why the two businesses kind of go hand in hand with that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, let's go into, we touched a little bit about this on the first podcast. And if you haven't watched the first episode, then go back and check it out. But we talked about boundaries, setting boundaries. We talked a little bit about, having that place whenever we're headed to the house that we say, you know what, here's the railroad tracks. We're going to leave everything there. Are there any other boundaries that, from your end that you have developed that has helped keep this relationship just enjoyable, right? I guess you could say enjoyable and still be able to work together.
Well, just in the beginning when you're talking about how we kind of stay in our lanes, I don't try to go and tell you how you should be doing, ABC, marketing, emails, I have to remember that, that's your expertise and, kind of trust. It's putting a lot of trust in the other person that they're going to handle that area that they're in.
Yeah.
And so not trying to micromanage or control that area of expertise, that helps.
Yeah. That's something I'm learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting better.
I'm getting better.
At the beginning, it was rough.
Okay. Well,
get out of my kitchen. We had a hashtag, Donnie, get out of the kitchen.
Right. Well, and I guess for my fault, right, my mind continues to just run and I see things and I'm like, oh, we should do this different. We should do that different. And I heard something said the other day. It was at the Afterglow. Jonathan Cook had said this, and he was talking about the gas and the brake, right? That you can't push them both down at the same time. I mean, you can,
spin
but
wheels.
you're gonna smoke your brakes, right?
And your tires.
You're gonna do damage ultimately to the vehicle if you push them down at the same time. So learning that, and whenever he said that, it just clicked on me. I was like, man, so many times I'm the gas pedal, right?
And I'm the brake.
And you're the brake. And not that that's a bad thing, I mean, you would look at that and you're like, oh, I'm slowing him down, right? But you're there to do that, and it helps me. And I just want to say I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of putting that. I hadn't heard that term before.
Yeah.
But it's, I think I've always, and with both businesses, I've always kind of been on the outside looking in, at things. And so that's what helps me, because when you're going, you get so hyper-focused or, you got your blinders on and you're fixated. And I have to kind of be like, hey, but this is what I'm seeing from the outside. This is what I'm looking at from my perspective. And that's what the perspective of the customers are going to see. So, just kind of balance that out and then approaching that in a way that's not going to discourage you or, Yeah.
Pretty cool. Hey, so thank y'all for watching. If you would, please like, subscribe, share this out. Crazy thing is, here recently I posted JP from F1 IT. His videos total wide are over 100,000 views.
It's awesome.
I want to thank y'all for just following us and liking, subscribing, and sharing this out. Here's a word from our sponsor. From password hiccups, detrimental cyber attacks, modern day tech challenges can impede your business's growth. But don't worry, because F1 Information Technologies, or F1 IT for short, ensures your business's day-to-day operations run smoothly. JP Kesey, co-founder of F1 IT and former guest on the Biz Life, affirms that with F1 IT by your side, your business can navigate IT-related obstacles with confidence and propel forward. Their services include cloud solutions, industrial compliance, IT advisory services, as well as managed and co-managed IT services. F1 IT is powered to serve. Visit f1it.com to discover more. That's f1it.com.
Ready to boost your business's impact? Fully Promoted Fort Worth is your one-stop destination for branding needs, specializing in branded apparel and promotional products. They help attract, retain, and engage customers. From custom uniforms to eye-catching items, Fully Promoted Fort Worth has you covered. Contact them today to unlock your brand's potential. 817-803-4404. Fully Promoted, your success, their passion.
Looking to elevate your office meetings, client gifting, or corporate parties? Check out Gray's Craze, your one-stop destination for delightful catering options. Imagine impressing your colleagues and clients with our large charcuterie board, carefully curated with the finest artisanal cheeses, premium meats, and an array of accompaniments. And when it comes to client gifting, nothing says thank you quite like a luxurious selection of gourmet treats designed to meet your every need. Gray's Craze, catering that leaves a lasting impression.
So, welcome back, and we have Celeena Bador here, the beautiful bride of myself, 31 years, and we've been in business, I guess, together since 2011-ish, and so that's what we do. Every day, we're pretty much together.
Probably 97%.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're working out, right,
Yep.
or I'm at
A B&I meeting.
right, a networking
I'm at a
meeting, or you're
networking
at
meeting.
the ladies' networking meeting. I mean, we're pretty much together all the time.
Yes.
Right. And it does help that we have many years of life together. Right. And we sort of know each other's thoughts before we really even think them and know all that. So that definitely helps.
Yeah.
But there's still some strategies, I believe, that has really helped us that maybe we could share.
Sure.
Right. So I'm thinking about, one of the ultimate ways to either grow a relationship or tear down a relationship is in communication.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I know you've been really diving into that and how to communicate and all that. So is there any kind of strategies that you have come up with that's really seemed to help when approaching, let's say, me?
Yeah. So timing. I think we learned this just in marriage counseling, and it can go in business, marriage, it can go with your kids, any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Any business relationship, personal relationship is just timing, when something's bothering you or something's offended you or you need to talk to somebody about something, that it's the timing. Are they at a point where they're ready to receive that information? And it's not going to be when they're in the middle of whatever they're doing or, on the go. You need to set down a time and be like, hey, when you have a few minutes, we need to talk. Or, hey, this has been on my heart. Let's set aside some time to talk, because you may not be at a point to receive that information. And then it's just going to cause some buttons on you to get pushed. And then it might end up into an argument, So I think timing is very, very crucial.
Yeah. I think whenever you don't pick the right timing, you can say the exact same words, but it's received as like, verbal vomit. Right. And it's like, yeah. I mean, no one wants that all over them. No.
And with that, you have to control your emotions. When you're upset or, frustrated or whatever, then it's easy to get caught up in your emotion and just blurt out or just spew or whatever, and at the bad time or wrong time. Right. But I think, along with timing, when you do get that time to set aside to talk, then your delivery needs to be in a loving, fashion.
Hey, stupid, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dummy.
So, what do you find is the best timing to talk to me?
Probably
because I know at like 7:30 a.m. whenever
you
talk
to me at 7:30 in the morning
out of the bedroom.
No,
I've realized that that's not the best time to communicate anything.
No. Okay. And I just don't say it because I'm not ready to talk at 7:30 in the morning. That you're always got stuff on your mind and you're going and thinking about things, but yes, don't talk to me at I say 7:30. I'm good by 7:30. It used to be the 5:45.
I just look for the coffee cup.
Yeah. Once the coffee cup's in my hand and the first sip is gone, then let's go. But yeah, I think so. We try to, set aside a date night once a week.
Yep.
And we can talk then. We talk during the day, right? Like we have lunch together or whatever, but to really get to the heart of matters, maybe those date nights, or just, at night when we're in bed watching TV and just chilling out and, trying to wind down. Yeah. We can talk then. Yeah. If Rover's not, in
the middle of our business.
Trying to ramrod. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. What's funny is like whenever we were first dating and, even early marriage, right? We always, I guess, cheered ourselves on that we really didn't argue.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember arguing a whole lot, but
not a lot. Right. And then of course the middle of our marriage was sort of like, just a a shake and bake hodgepodge of emotions. But then I think we leveled out after, a few years of that. But like, how do we handle disagreements? How would you say, if someone says, how do y'all handle disagreements? Maybe the new entrepreneur or the, small business person, couple or whatever, right? They're having some arguments, right?
Yeah.
What are some good tips that you would give on how to handle arguments?
The same way I just said. Finding those times that we can talk about it and hash it out in a audience of we're ready to receive it, and a place that we're ready to receive it, away from the store or the school. But yeah, I think in the same exact way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where we've been in the store and I'm like rolling my eyes and just like giving you the look, like,
I know the look.
yeah. And we've kind of had a little tiff or whatever or two, but the good thing is there's staff around. So it keeps us from really getting into
You came
it.
to your senses. I get it.
Well, the staff was around. But, and that kind of keeps us from, really letting our emotions get the best of us. But
yeah. No, it's true.
it doesn't happen very often. Honestly, I don't know. I think the Lord has really blessed our relationship, and I think it's because of the struggles we've been through.
Sure. I agree 100%.
But, and we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But, I think it's just not, I know subconsciously in the back of our head, in my head, it's like, it's just not worth, it's not going to break the business down if my idea doesn't get through, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be a time for it, and we can discuss it. And
yeah.
Well,
what I've really enjoyed is, like, especially when it comes to the business and even personal life, right, is setting goals with each other.
Yeah.
And setting those goals. I think that's super important. One thing that has really, I guess that I've really enjoyed is coming together as a team in this project of business.
Yeah. Having the same mindset, same goals, and that our goals are to benefit the family and the legacy we want to leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a tough road getting there, right? But I mean, ultimately, whenever we're gone, right, just want the family to say, you know what? They did good. They set us up.
And in any business relationship, you do want your point to get across. You want your ideas to be implemented, and you want to be heard and seen and things like that. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. But you have to rely on your partner to have the same goal and be like, okay, it's not like just because I say no doesn't mean it's because my goal has changed or my mindset's changed. It's just,
right.
Well,
let's, speaking of goals, right. And then having, maybe some disagreements or whatever, let's talk to them about the win-win scenario, right? The win-win agreement that we have, right? So whenever we're going through our marriage counseling, this is where we learn this, right? To have a win-win situation.
Yes.
So no matter what the issue, you explain it. You explain it a little bit better.
Well, it's just, again, we both have our ideas.
Yep.
We both have our wants and desires. They're different. But we have to not be selfish in what we want and know that, okay, if this idea that I have or this desire that I have or need or want that I have, is it going to make both of us feel like we've won?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to, if for any reason you don't feel like you're a winner in the situation, then we need to come together and figure out how we both can win from the situation.
Right. And it may be that whatever idea that you have, I mean, you could throw a million different scenarios. Let's say, hey, I want a new vehicle, right?
Yeah. No.
Well, I don't want one now.
I know.
But if I did, right? And, you were like, well, I feel like, taking on this debt, if we were going to, use a loan or something like that, would make me feel like we're losing in this situation, then I need to sort of reevaluate or come up with some other scenario where you do feel like a winner in this situation. It may be that we do go down that road, but it may be that I change my mind or steer it a different way where you can feel like a winner and I could still feel like
and that might be, let's adjust our goals. Let's make that a goal.
Yeah.
And okay, what do we need to do to reach that goal?
Right.
Because I know once we reach that goal, we're both going to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what advice? What are some advice that you would give? Maybe top two things that you would give to a couple that are starting a business together, or in business together, or maybe they're not in business together and just listening to this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Biz
It's
life is
not for everybody.
It's true.
It's an acquired lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but if you're willing to set the goals and look at the end result, then it's worth working towards. And just like any other goal you have to work towards it. You have to constantly go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
But just know that it's not for everybody, and that's okay. If it doesn't work out for you, then that's okay. But if you are in it and you're stumbling across each other or whatever, y'all need to probably work on communication. That's probably the first thing that's lacking.
Yep.
And then the next thing that's probably lacking is your goals might not be lined up. And short-term goals and long-term goals, not just any kind of goal. You know, we always talk about 3 short-term and 1 or 2 long-term, right?
Yep.
But in having a realistic mindset of, you're going to argue, you're going to have differences, you're 2 different people, you're wired differently, you're going to have 2 different ways of doing things, and that's fine. You just have to learn what's it going to do to work? How are we going to come together and make this work?
Yeah. And that's really the teamwork aspect that I was trying to talk about. Is I think once we had that mindset that, hey, this is a team, situation.
Yeah.
And, so whatever we got to do, it has to benefit the team.
Yeah. And trust has a lot to do with it too. I have to trust you that you are not going to lose sight of what we've talked about and what our goal is and the legacy we want to leave. And same thing, we have to be able to trust that you know what's best in your area.
Yep.
And that I know what's best in my area. Staying in those lanes and then just coming together and you have to be willing to work together. I mean, you have to be willing to do it. It's like, you can't just expect me to do my job and you to do your job and then it just works out.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And one thing I've tried to do is try to be a supportive actor in this, where whenever you do get piled up with the operational stuff, then I can come in and I don't have to be the best at it, but I at least have to know enough where I can support.
Right.
Right. And so,
and I do know early on there was a lot of stuff you were trying to get me out of my comfort zone. Let's say, for instance, with the selling, and you would push me into it, and that would just make me so mad. I mean, very, very mad. And you stopped doing that. You backed off and like, you know what? This is where she's best at.
Yeah.
Let's let her work, and then I'll just do this. And then if she ever has questions or wants to take on, then I'll be willing to share that with her.
Yeah.
And vice versa. But you've backed off trying to push me into, you need to get in the office and sell, or this isn't going to work, and trying to make me into something that I'm not.
Yeah.
And I know early on that was,
I've grown up since then.
yeah. I mean, but you don't do it anymore. And I appreciate that, because it takes a lot, because I'm an anxious person by nature, and my mind doesn't go as much as I shut it down, know? And so that's just one less thing that I have to worry about. It's like, oh, what's it going to make me do today? Who's it going to make me talk to? So, yeah.
Sweet. Well, my favorite question on here is, how do you keep the spark alive? How do you manage keeping our personal relationship vibrant and healthy despite of the stress and demands of working together? Because the stresses, I mean, they're a real deal, right? 2023 was a very, very difficult year for us.
It was rough.
Right? The businesses. 2024 is on the uptick. It's going fairly well, and definitely look for next year taking off even more and settling into where we wanted to be a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So going through all those, because it was pretty stressful, right? How do we, what are some things?
Well, I mean, one thing that we did is we kept our date nights.
Yeah.
And that's what I told you. I said, I know that we're going through a rough time and we've had to do some things to shift some stuff around financially or whatever, but please don't take away the date nights. You know, I'll eat ramen all week long if I can still do the date nights every week. But that, and then, you know, just going on trip that we necessarily couldn't afford, but we knew we needed it for, you know, just a reset. Just things like that, you know, just
being intentional
about
being intentional.
Hey, I see that this is bringing you down, you know, let's go get ice cream or something, or just little stuff like that. But yeah,
I think we've really read each other very well whenever we have our ups and downs. You know, you'd mentioned that, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months ago, right? It's like, man, it's crazy how whenever you're in a bad mood, I always seem to be in a good mood. You know?
I used to find that pretty annoying. Like, why can't you just be in a bad mood with me? Gosh.
You know?
Misery loves company.
Yeah, it's true. But, you know, it's just funny how we've sort of gotten into that sync.
Yeah.
Right. And there's times I get in a bad mood. I mean, I'm typically the upbeat guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, just love life and love people. But yeah, things weigh me down sometimes. And it seems like whenever that happens.
Yeah, I'm in a place where I can emotionally
you come,
support you.
And you put your hand on my shoulder and you give me a hug and you're like, I just want to let you know I love you. And I'm like, dude, I can conquer the freaking world now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's just because that's just what you thrive off of.
Well, yeah.
It's your love language.
Yeah. But still, you know, and it just seems like, you know, we've gotten to that sync.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that doesn't come from just happenstance, right? Obviously, it comes from being together a long time.
Yeah.
But it also comes from just being intentional.
Yeah, and getting rid of the noise.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the noise.
Yep.
All the, you know, we can listen to everybody that tells us and gives us advice, but we just got to filter it through God's hands and really be careful on who we're listening to, what we're listening to.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, because there's always people out there that'll give their opinion. You know, they're like armpits. Everybody has a couple and they all stink. Most of them stink.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
At some point.
At some point. Well, good. What else would you like to talk about? We're on the back end of the podcast, right? I normally say my spouse and whoever's spouse is across is the one
probably
listening.
The only ones listening.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now.
But yeah, we have a good little following. We're up to almost 5,000 followers on YouTube.
I mean, you have
Our
lights.
subscriber. Dude, these lights, this studio is freaking amazing. I'm telling you. If you ever here, I'm going to give a shameless plug. If you're interested in podcasting,
Taylor,
if you would like to know about podcasting, man, thinking outside the box is definitely, you know, I think in the podcast world, it's like an open ocean. Man, call Taylor Perkey. He's the guy. And he has an amazing studio. Every single guest that's come in, they're like, dude, this is like a real setup. I'm like, well, no kidding. It's the Biz Life. What do you expect? You know?
Duh.
But anyway,
yeah.
I appreciate you, Taylor. And
Appreciate you.
Man, you're amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anything else you want to talk about at the end? Any funny stories that you want to give?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. It's 31 years.
I know. Man, 26 years of marriage today.
Yeah.
May 14th. Well, so this is actually recorded on the 14th. It comes out on the 16th.
Yes.
So we're actually 2 days past, but
it's all right.
Anyway.
Funny story. I guess the first time you proposed.
Okay.
People are like, ooh, the first time? Oh, I said yes.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to hear that story, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to tell it.
There you go.
But so we started dating in February of 94. January of 94. Sorry.
Okay. I remember
January
the first
14th of 94.
Yeah.
That way our 1 month anniversary could be on Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
She is
right?
like so romantic. Wow.
And you got down on one knee just to ask me to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I thought that was kind of weird, but kind of cute, whatever. And then 2 years later, on January 14th, you proposed in the middle of a parking lot in the stockyards.
Hey, man, it's like, that's baller move back then.
When you're 19 years old or 18, 19. Yeah. And I just thought it was funny because when you, I didn't see it coming at all.
Okay. You thought I tripped or something?
Well, no. I mean, I knew why you were down there.
Oh.
But when you were down there on that knee, and remember Shauna, my best friend, was with me. And I was like, no, Shauna, no. I wasn't even looking at you. I wasn't even worried about why you were down there. I was like, oh, no. And she's just laughing and laughing and laughing. And I will never forget that because it wasn't a glamorous proposal, right? But it was just because that's where we were every Friday or Saturday night, because I think it was on a weekend or whatever. So it's like, hey, while we're here, and it happened to be the 14th. You know, so anyway, I always think that's kind of cute and funny because I was like, you were down there trying to propose, and I'm looking at my best friend going, no.
I know. I'm thinking, crap.
No, she doesn't want to marry me.
She doesn't want to marry me.
Yeah. So anyway.
Turn around and, by the way, she said yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
cool.
yeah, that's. I mean, there's plenty of funny stories. We've both done some goofy things, but
sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if again for this particular episode, if you would share out, tag someone that maybe works with their spouse, right? Maybe they could get some inspiration out of it, and then just comment. Let us know where you're from, and let us know you're there. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, wraps it up.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Now it's date night.
Yeah.
So now we got out to eat. We're going to go to Eddie V's.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've ever been to Eddie V's, then you know. So
yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll see you next time on the Biz Life.